1,100 days in hardcore Minecraft. It's hard to even believe we've made it this far, and I have so far yet to go. In this 100-day block, I want to start a new build, a mega build. I want to build a guardian farm, and I want to start a new fishing village. We have no more time to waste. Let's get going right now.
Your shortage of tribute has been found unacceptable. Still, we are not without compassion. The Fist of the Dragon would like to hire you.
Me? Why?
The Breath has taken notice of your ability to build quickly with surprisingly high quality.
What would you have me build? I have responsibilities here with my people.
If your concern is keeping the citizens of New Hope safe, then your first responsibility is maintaining a friendly relationship with the Fist.
I understand.
What we require is called an arcane reception coil. We will supply you with the plans and requirements, and you and your people will supply the materials and labor. In return, we will suspend your tribute to the Fist and continue our protection of your settlement.
And if I refuse?
I would not advise that. But of course, it's your decision after all.
Well, we're into the next block. A block I wasn't sure I would ever see, the 2,000-day block. And with a new block comes a new project. Now, last episode, I started a fishing village because I need food for my people here, and I thought a fishing boat can supply a lot more than fields can, which is cool. But for my epic build, I want to do it in roughly the same place so I can expand both the epic build and also the fishing village at the same time. And I think this mountain right here, oh yeah, it's the perfect spot. It's just big enough to house what I think can be an awesome mega build. It's going to start kind of small and then get bigger as we go up. This is the arcane reception coil. It's going to be huge in the lore later on. I was just getting ready to lay down my first column, and look at this. On top of this mountain, there's bees everywhere. There's no trees, no beehives as far as I can tell, just tons and tons of bees. This is weird. Now, if I'm going to be building basically kind of a new base, I'm going to have to start with some new infrastructure, and that's going to include a new mine because I'm going to need a lot of stone and a lot of deep slate for this build. So, yeah, time to dig straight down. Now, it is really nice to start a new project with a beacon already in your hands, right? So I put my beacon down right in the dead middle of where the project's going to be, and then I'll add a water elevator on both sides so I can sort of have a symmetrical kind of build. Adding in the kelp to make source blocks, and I gotta tell you, this is the part I'm probably most worried about this entire build. If I'm going to die at any point during this build, it will probably be from falling down a hole to my death. So I need to make sure I waterlog everything underneath me. And finally, I have a drop chute going down and a water elevator coming up to surface level. Now, surface level is like Y120, so it's pretty high. I built a rather small circle because, again, I want to start this tower small on sort of the bottom and then get bigger and bigger. Kind of like an end city, if you can imagine. I spent a little bit of time clearing right underneath. I'm going to need storage. I don't want to fly back and forth every time I need a block. And after some spruce chopping, I have a little bit of a storage room worked out. Should be enough room for now. Oh yes, it's time for a mining montage quiz show. You have until the end of my mining to select the right answer. Did you get it? Leave a comment if you got it. The answer is 400 pounds. What? You know, one thing I don't really have in this world is an actual quarry. Now I have two kind of mines, but it's just for materials. I dug some access roads and I might set this up as my eventual permanent quarry. Part of the reason why I'm mining for diamonds is really I'm looking for lava for obsidian and also taking as much deep slate as I can. Finally found a good lava source, and now with some water I can make obsidian. I'm really trying to start over here, so not just go back to spawn for every time I need stuff. So, you know, new obsidian, new mine, all that kind of stuff. Next, I want to build my nether port. I want to make kind of a tall, skinny one. I think it'll look cool. It's kind of hard to figure out where to put this, though, because I don't have a really set idea of what this tower is going to look like. So I just kind of got to pick a random location and go with it. Then after that, luckily, it's not too far, but it's in a kind of awkward area. Yeah, you can see right in the middle of a big lava pool. But yeah, I got to connect it all up to the nether path. Eventually, I do want to spend some time, but not this episode. And believe it or not, that's taken me 10 days. That means in 10 days, all of my infrastructure is set up. I had a situation. I was going down in my mind, and just like I predicted, I fell and I missed my water hole. I died. I popped my totem, which was my last totem. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad. I meant to do a raid with my totem, but I forgot, and now I don't have any, and I have to do a raid. So look, the last raid I did was actually pretty successful. I don't have a raid farm or anything, so I basically just hid in water and killed everything. I figured I could do it again, so I came down to the village sort of near my mining desert and looked around, and yeah, apparently all the villagers here are dead. Because I have the bad omen effect, but yeah, there's no one alive here to start a raid. I found another village not too far away, and, well, here we go. Okay, yeah, I get it. You're not here to watch me fight. Not really my strong suit. Fine. Let's just say I had 45 minutes of footage of me fighting this raid, which is mostly take 2 shots and run away. Okay, we'll move on. In the raid, I managed to get 2 totems and die once. Luckily, I died after I got one of the totems, so that leaves me with 1 totem back. Yeah, look, let's just not talk about it. Can we just move on and not talk about it anymore? I'm not proud of my performance. Overall, though, the beginning shape is working out. I decided that I'm going to be using the same deep slate block for this entire sort of structure. I'm not going to be doing a gradient or anything like that. This is a new build. I think it should sort of look like that, even though I'm kind of into the gradient look, as is most of the world these days, but this would be better for this build. And as I continue to build up, I was just thinking about my build on Imperial SMP. And it was a giant floating city, and I had water elevators that went to the very top, and that makes building a lot easier because you can float up to the top and then glide down. I think I'm going to do that here too. I know build height is much taller now, but I decided to take the water elevator up to 256 just for old time's sake. I'll be building up higher than that, but for right now, it's a good stopping point. And yes, it's starting to look good. Now I'm over at the nether portal now and I want to connect it. I'm going to have a bridge and I think I'm going to do maybe a staircase that goes across, but it's going to require a lot of support, so we may as well start that now so it doesn't look like an afterthought. And this is when it's time to start gathering materials for my guardian farm. Yeah, I'm going to want a lot of sea lanterns for this build, and I'm going to need a really good guardian farm. Luckily, I actually know how to make one. I had to go to a swamp to get some lily pads, but I'm going to make the same farm that we have on Legacy. It is unbelievably efficient and fast, and I just think it'll be really cool to have one of those in my world. I'll link the tutorial that I followed by ENX04 down in the description. I can't say enough good things. It's one of the best tutorials I've seen in a very long time. I jumped to the end to grab about 2 stacks of obsidian that I need for the farm and just decided, let's just start taking down these pillars. I'm going to respawn the dragon more at some point, so they will repop. Not a big deal. Yeah, okay, so I placed a couple lily pads. I was just getting ready, and I am just getting pestered by these guardians constantly. I thought I could deal, but I can't. I'm going to have to do some brewing. And it's time for our famous segment, Brewing with Fix Quiz Show. You have 10 seconds to come up with the right answer. Post in the comments if you do. Did you get it? Be honest now. The answer is Dottie Smith. Oh yes, this is the way to go. Yeah, being invisible and also water breathing to boot. Yeah, this is definitely the route. So I put all the scaffolding down and I have to build 3 portals. There's a lot of counting and stuff that the tutorial walks you through, so I'm not going to go through all that right now, but yeah, it's a pretty simple farm design. I mean, look at this dude. He wants to kill me, but he doesn't know where I am. I think you have to take off your armor when you have invisibility potions. Is that true? Do you have to take off your armor? I don't know. I did. But then I worried that whenever my invisibility ran out that I would just instantly die. So I don't know. I don't know if you have to or not. Now, there are 3 components. One is the underwater portion, then there's a nether portion, then there's this way up high killing room. That's what I'm doing now. I could do automated storage, but quite honestly, I don't really need it. I'm just going to come up here and kill until I get the amount of materials I need, then move on. And with all that being said, this is the first time in the history of me playing Minecraft, and that's like 10 years, that I've ever gone to the nether roof on my own. Yeah, it's pretty easy, actually. Now, in the tutorial, he mentions that if you get this part wrong, it can, like, crash your world, maybe like forever. I don't know, but I think I got it right. I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah, but that's all you have to do. You just gotta make sure the gates open and close every 15 seconds with a hopper clock and then go back to the overworld. I will admit I had some real problems where I ran out of materials and had to go back and forth, and then I didn't have a nether portal, so I had to find my original nether portal. It was a big mess, but it doesn't matter because right now it works. I'm going to retake some potions because I got to go down there and I got to light the nether portals down in the ocean floor, and then hopefully, well, we'll see if it works. My goodness, to say it works is like understatement of the century. Yeah, it is amazing. In fact, it's so fast and so efficient that I can't even absorb the XP fast enough. This is amazing. This is kind of funny. I actually went to all the trouble of making sure I had a Sweeping Edge villager and then never actually put Sweeping Edge on my sword. So yeah, you definitely need Sweeping Edge with this kind of farm because you got to kill a lot of guardians at a time. And now that I actually have a great source of sea lanterns, it's time to actually get back to building. The whole reason I built that guardian farm was sea lanterns, but it's so fast and so efficient that I might end up using some of the prismarine as well. That's something I'm going to think about a little bit. I'll admit I have no idea what this arcane reception coil could possibly do. Do these quacks believe in magic? Wait, could that actually be a thing? Magic? No, that's ridiculous. Regardless, the fist is only handing out information once I complete one part of this structure. The sheer size is even hard to wrap my head around. I am glad, however, that they left the location up to me. It's nice to be able to build this and keep an eye on my people, as well as eventually I want to work more on this little fishing village. We've been able to recruit our full garrison of 32 soldiers that need to eat. Now that I have an ocean monument ready to be farmed, I actually have materials to further expand the tower. With this starting to come together according to the specs provided by the Fist, I should be able to add some more technical parts soon. Alright then, well, I made a new beacon and I am ready to put it down. I'm going to have to take another invisibility potion because I want to put it right over the guardian farm. Reason being, I want to have regen around here so whenever I'm killing guardians, I don't constantly have to eat. I think this should work. I've never seen really anyone do it, but it seems to make sense. So yeah, I'm going to put a beacon right here on the top and it should all be cool. Gotta tell you though, every time I make a mistake with the block, it is really a drag to get this constant mining fatigue. My only fear really was that this wouldn't reach, but it does. I'm standing right here in my kill area for the Guardians, and I have regen. Hooray! Tower construction. Oh yeah, it is time. Let's build up and up and up. I want to use deep slate bricks for my main build, and then sort of a mixture of stone and cobble in between. I had another close call. Thank goodness I didn't actually fall to my death, but I might have, so I waterlogged this entire basement. I am so tired of dying from fall damage. That would actually be twice in this world that that's happened. I have a great deep slate mine, but I actually need stone, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is just dig straight down from this sort of lit up ceiling, maybe make a big cavern for some machinery later on for the Fist. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, why not? Should be cool. And I've done this before in both this world and others, but as I go down, I keep peppering the walls with cobblestone only, so it's all stone and cobble. I just feel like it is a nice look for a cave. When you get into adding andesite and stairs and slabs, it just gets too much for a huge build, but yeah, why not? Unfortunately, this opens the outer world, and we have to deal with that at some point. And yeah, in an incredibly short amount of time, I've already run through most of the deep slate that I have gathered thus far, so yeah, back to it. I went up about 2/3 of the way to the platform on the top and I added in a kind of hexagon. I think this is going to be a good jumping off point to expand upwards. Luckily, my computer is pretty strong and I can set to a very far render distance, and if I do, the view is amazing. I can see the entire upcoming fishing village, some farmland, the ocean monument, I can see the tower. I mean, it is really cool, really cool. It makes me want to play in this render distance all the time, but I can't. I wish I could. And I had mentioned before about maybe I will actually use some of this prismarine for the build, and I think I'm going to. Yeah, I have so much of it as just a byproduct of just farming for the lantern, sea lantern. So this is great. I am going to use this as my main color, I think. Yeah, it plays well with deep slate, cobble, stone. It's just going to be a really cool build. I've never really used it before in my life, so that's fun too. Adding another field, I'm starting to sort of connect my main kingdom of New Hope to this new fishing village that still needs a name. But it's time to work on some of the technical parts of this tower, and one of the things is, where is the power coming from? Well, the power from this is going to be coming from kind of a life essence from a few different mobs, 4 to be exact. I ran out of sea lanterns, so while I was grinding, I spent a lot of time really thinking about sort of how this arcane reception coil is going to function in canon and in lore, and it's going to be drawing life essence. Now, we're not really going to get into this until 1200 days, most likely, but it's good to sort of know where I'm going, and it helps have a trajectory of the build in general. And for the first time, really, since I started this, I actually came down to the ground to kind of look around and, you know, and also be in combat with skeletons. But yeah, it's a cool, imposing look. I really like this sort of dark gray and almost black feel, the whole thing. It almost feels kind of evil. I've decided to really invent something new, something no one's ever done before, and put netherrack and stuff in my nether portal room. So it looks like the nether is kind of coming through the portal. No one's ever done it before. It's completely unique. Now, I'm really trying to use these sea lanterns to sort of show where power is. So it's going to come through these power towers and through around windows and things like that, where it's almost like the wiring of the whole place. And after 50 days, that's right, it's day 1050, it's time to break away from the tower. I've done a lot of work there, and I still have more world to build. So let's get in some farming. Let's work on some of the land in between the fishing village and New Hope. I'm going to have quite a bit of landscaping to do. I've talked quite a bit about the pains of 1.18 landscaping, where you really have to kind of place almost every block by itself. And yeah, we're kind of in there now. You know, I want there to be either cliffs or flat areas to plant and not sort of in between. So after I peeled back some of the farmland, that's right, this is all going to be planted down here, then I'm ready to use some stone and some cobblestone and just make some cliffs. So I'm just starting where there's a couple blocks going up severely, and I'm just going to keep raising it up and up until the road. And as a byproduct of sort of making that cliff, I'm able to actually sort of expand the land near the road as a bit of an overhang, which actually gives me enough room for another field. So after just a few days of hard work landscaping, I actually have cliffs done, and we're ready to, well, create some more fields, I guess. I have a pretty good bow, and I tried to repair it, but I am totally out of string. I have no idea. Did I put it somewhere? Could you leave me a comment where my string might be? Something I haven't talked about in this series for quite a while is vertical depth, and it's a very important part of building and of world building in particular. Having things up higher and down lower. This is a really good example. The road is in the middle, and if you look down to your left, if you're walking in the road, you'll see a crop field. If you look up to your right, you'll see the arcane coil. It's important to have both. And with that all being said, it is actually time to build a new house. 3 crop fields equals a house, or 1 fishing boat equals 3 houses. That's sort of the equation I have to make sure my people can eat. I really want to stay away from spruce or dark oak, as that's kind of what New Hope is, so I spent some time with jungle wood, trying out some different terracottas and trying to see what kind of works with it. I've never played with jungle wood, so this is very, very new to me, but I think after some time, I think I found something that I can live with. And yeah, if you're going to build out jungle wood, you need a Fortune 3 hoe, or you will run out of saplings. That's a fix guarantee. I am really experimenting here. I really want to go with something that is a little bit different, and I want something I can produce a lot of. Look, these are fisher people. They're not going to be super wealthy. I would imagine these houses would be fairly small, so I went with simple shape and a simple roof that is also kind of different than what I've done before, and I like it. I think it's going to be cool. It's definitely going to take a little bit of love and some texturing and stuff, but the shape is good. Just a little tiny bit of love, and I'm starting to love it. It's not there yet, but we're getting closer. Use really jungle wood as much as I possibly can, as well as some of the white terracotta, and it's coming along. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know that I give houses for Patreons and YouTube members at the gold tier. And Maddie, thank you. This is my final Patreon gold tier house. Moving on to YouTube members next. I have a new project, though, that I thought of that's actually going to help with building more houses, too. I don't want to hide that. Look, it's hideous, right? I mean, it's super cool. It's very effective, but it's not good looking, and it does sort of break the immersion of the world. I have an idea, though. I have a progress report. What the Fist is calling the LP engines are constructed. They require 4 of them evenly spaced away from the main column. No matter how much I ask, none of the Fist soldiers will tell me what they do. Maybe they don't know. Maybe. But in other news, I had a meeting with Captain Watt of the fishing ship I built.
That's what I'm saying, Doctor. There are far more fish than we can keep up with.
So one fishing ship can support more than 3 households?
I'd say so, but only for as long as the Fist of the Dragon suspends their tribute.
Believe me, Captain, I'm no fan of their tribute either. But still, with only 32 soldiers, there is not much we could do in open conflict with the Fist.
Well, if you could build another one of these boats, I could take our Yellowbird.
Yellowbird? You finally named your ship and went with Yellowbird?
Though it wasn't my choice. Seems word your Black Goat Starship has convinced everyone in town we should name it a damned collared animal.
Well, I mean, we had the sheriff, too.
Like I say, sir.
Doctor, please, I'm no officer.
Official title or not, Doctor. The people here look to you for leadership.
I suppose. Still. At any rate, what were you saying about your Yellowbird?
Yes. Well, if another ship could handle the fishing duties for a time, we could head across the sea and make contact with some villages to the south. If there were ever a time that conflict with the Fist becomes a reality, we should have help.
Agreed, Captain. I'll start on that ship right away. That's the wrong potion, darn it! After I finally made the right potion, which is invisibility, I started building a ship kind of over the Guardian spawning area. I think it's going to look really cool. And it does. I think this is a really good idea that I had here. So the ship is completely hollow. It doesn't go underwater like it should, obviously, because the Guardians have to flow up there. But unless you really look closely, you're going to think there's a ship, and that's a great way to hide a farm. Nice. And once again, I have to shear a bunch of sheep. I feel like I just did this last episode because I did. But yeah, we're building a Guardian farm ship. It's going to need really big sails because the ship itself is pretty darn fat. So the sails are going to have to sort of reflect that fatness and how big they are. For the most part, I'm happy with how it looks. I don't love it. It's a lot stumpier and kind of chubbier than most ships I've ever built. But look, I've seen this in the end and it turns out okay. But right now, I'm a little bit worried. And adding in the front sail really did work pretty well. I'm not a sailboat expert here, but I think it works okay. I think that I'm supposed to have like that mining fatigue again. Honestly, I cannot express to you what a pain it is. I've got to deal with that soon. Yeah, and soon is now. I am totally over these Guardians. So, brewed up some more potions. I used all my invisibility potions building the boat, and it's time to go to work. I have not taken on the Elder Guardians in a long, long time. Maybe never. I think I did once in my Bedrock world. But yeah, it's time. We're going underwater, and I'm a little bit worried. But hey, maybe this is the end. It was not, in fact, the end. It turns out it was incredibly easy. They can't even see me, so I just killed them. I feel kind of bad about it, really. I'm so glad that I took care of those Elder Guardians before doing this because you misplace blocks so much more frequently dealing with fences and half block situations like this. So yeah, it would have been awful, but this is not too bad. So I'm building up the rigging, which is kind of how I always do when I do boats, and Everyone else does too. Look, I'm not inventing anything here, but I've done a few boats. I know how to make it look decent. And adding the rigging is starting to make me believe in this boat. I was quite unsure before, just because the shape is so different than how I usually do it, but the more I look at it, the more I really like it. I like how tall it is. Now, it had to be that tall because of the beacon, but yeah, I like it. I did want to texture it some. You know, I'm thinking about adding textures. Have you guys ever seen the double slab thing? Jermsyboy, my good friend, introduced it to me, where if you do a double slab, it can actually be another block. I've been thinking about maybe doing that and doing vertical slabs, like just basically if you do a double slab, it'll turn the slab sort of 90 degrees to the side. I don't know. Is that going to ruin it for you? I think it looks really, really nice. I like it. I was thinking about maybe putting a water trail behind it, but, you know, show it's in motion. Either way, it looks good and I like it. Well, I built a terrible house. I tried a little bit of a different shape and it's so flat and stubby. As much as I like the style of the first one, I really hate the style of this one. I got to fix this. It's a bit of a challenge, you know, trying to detail this, but also keep it to be so simple, which is really the goal of this particular little town here. I don't know. I did a little bit of a picture window. I think it's going to help, but yeah, these houses are really challenging. They're just so simple and it just makes it kind of hard because of that. And just like that, tiny little bit of detailing, and I like it. Hey, it's my first YouTube member, first one ever, actually, Brienne the girl, and first gold tier one of YouTube members to get knocked out. Cool, let's do another one. Now, if you don't know, I give world downloads out to all of my supporters every 100 days. If you grab one, and if you do the interior design of the house and do some decorating or whatever, then I will copy it. You just gotta send me pictures on Discord. Yeah, this is going to look really nice. I decided to keep this rural, meaning I don't want stone roads. I want to use more of the dirt paths as if it's like a farming, fishing, dirty, worker, blue-collar village, and that's what it should be. So, yeah, I'm going to continue the palette that I've already had, which is basically spruce and path blocks and coarse dirt, and just continue that right in between all the houses. Adding in some feathering will also be key, I think, just like feathering the dock so it does not just a sudden line of stone. Bringing some dirt out and some stone back, it should help nicely. Yeah, all right, we got a good thing. Let's do another house. Yeah, I decided that I really did like mixing the oak and jungle, but not in the same house. So I don't want to have all the houses be jungle, for example. So I made another oak house. I'm not in love with it. I actually like this house when it's done, but I'm not in love with sort of the mixing of the palettes. This is going to take a little bit of getting used to for me, but I think it's important. I don't think I can have a very singular wood throughout the entire village. I think it'll look stupid. And like I say, you know, once I got this detailed, I did like it a lot more. There is maybe some outside landscaping we can do, but yeah, it's okay. So we have our 3 houses, which we earned from our new fishing ship. And we are now, well, if I want to build more houses, I got to do more either planting or another ship. Now, obviously, we have to do a lot of landscaping, add in a bunch of trees, some shrubbery, all that kind of stuff. But I think you get the idea that it's going to be, and I think it's going to be good. Now it's day 1085, which means we have about 15 days left to work more on the arcane reception coil. I'm really into this mega build, and I'm looking forward to the next part, but the problem is I don't really have a set plan on what needs to come next. So I'm filling in some little details here and there, trying to sort of come up with the next portion of this build, I guess. Oh, now I came up with it. These lightning rods are going to be awesome. This is supposed to conduct power after all, and what says power in Minecraft more than lightning rods? Yes. However, I'm totally out of copper, and I only got one of these half done. I spent a couple days caving, like regular old caving for copper. It seems like that's the best way to get it. And while it's smelting, I came down to get more deep slate because that's another thing I need. Unfortunately, you can't get copper in deep slate levels and vice versa, whatever. Regardless, once it all gets smelted, I should have enough to finish the lightning rod portion. I had basically just enough copper to finish it, but I did finish it, and then returned with the deep slate to work on the top of the power pylons here. This is really, really cool. I'm really into this now. Using copper as an accent along with the green prismarine, oh, this is going to be a beautiful build. Now, I have 2 choices, and I finally made one. I couldn't decide if I just wanted to have one base on the ground and then have everything stem off of that, or if I want to have a bunch of different towers that support it. I chose the second option. And with that, I actually think that I'm good for now. Not forever. We're going to come back to this next 100 days and for the next whole bunch of episodes, but we got a lot of progress done, and I'm happy with it. I have enough time, I believe, this episode to do a tiny bit more building. I want to build one more YouTube member house to get at least 4 of them done this episode, 5 total houses. That's a big addition to this kingdom. I did. I built one more house right on the docks. Now, I went into debt for this house, which means I owe either a fishing boat or 3 more crop fields. I have like a day and a half. Let's see what I can do. And I did it. Using bone meal in the last one to make it as one of those, what do you call it, barrier fields or something? Someone correct me what these are things called, like, the fields that you don't plant every season. Anyway, yeah, we did it. We are all square on both fields, fishing ships, and houses. And it's day 1100 right now. I know that people usually click off right now, but wait, there is an epilogue in this and every other episode I do with lore, so hang in there till the very end. But yeah, look at those cliffs and these fields. This is a huge difference. Oh man, the Epic build. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't show the base, but yeah, I built that too. I think I forgot to show it. Anyway, it looks nice. You see it. And then the last thing I did the boat, the big fishing boat guardian farm. I mean, what a huge episode we did. I am super psyched about it. Thanks for spending part of your day with me. Thank you especially to my voice cast, and I will see you all next time. Here's the epilogue right now.
Sir!
Not sir, just doctor, please.
Yes, sir. I mean, doctor, sir.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
I just got a sealed package from the Fist.
Huh. I need to file an addendum to my 100 days report. The Fist of the Dragon has delivered the next set of plans for the arcade and reception coil, and they are extreme. I spent the last few hours looking over them. The simple demands for materials alone will be crushing for New Hope to even approach this. I'm going to need to expand massively. It seems like this project is far larger than I anticipated.